You are closer than you think to crushing it on YouTube, but you're not showing up enough. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Influence Catalyst. My name's Eric Dean, and I've built multiple brands using content and influence across YouTube and social media. Not by chasing viral moments, but by consistently showing up and building trust over time. And that's what this channel is about. It's about influence, not fame, not hype, not going viral for a day and disappearing the next. It's about building something that compounds over time and actually turns into opportunity. Now let me ask you something. How many times have you thought about starting? Or posting more? Or taking YouTube seriously? You had the idea, you had the time, you probably even had the equipment, but you didn't hit record. And that, if you're being honest with yourself, is not because you couldn't, it's because you didn't. And here's the part that most people don't realize. You're not that far away from where you want to be. You're just not showing up enough to get there. And today, I want to break that down in a way that actually clicks for you, because everything moves once you make the shift to staying consistent on YouTube. Let's talk about the problem and just call it what it is. The problem is not that you don't have ideas. The problem is not that you don't know how to start. And it's definitely not that you don't have the right equipment, because we both know you can film on an iPhone or an Android right now and be just fine. The real problem is that you're not consistent. And I'm not saying that to call you out. I'm saying that because I've lived it. I know exactly what it feels like to post something, get excited about it, and then disappear for 2 weeks. Then you come back, you get motivated again, maybe you post 1 or 2 more times, and then life gets busy. Things come up, and suddenly you're right back where you started. What people don't understand is that this pattern is what kills momentum. It's not your content, it's not the algorithm, it's the gap between your effort. Every time you stop and reset the process, and then you keep resetting and resetting and resetting, you never build enough traction to see results. I remember posting videos where nothing was happening. Low views, no engagement, no real sign that anything was working, and I had the same thought a lot of people have, which is it even worth it? But what I didn't realize at the time was that something was happening. It just wasn't visible yet. I was getting better, I was getting more comfortable, and I was learning how to communicate. And all of that was building underneath the surface. Most people quit before that part ever has a chance to show up. When you really zoom out and look at this, the difference between where you are right now and where you want to be is not as big as it feels. It's just built on repetition. Think about it this way. If you committed to posting 3 times a week for the next 6 months, you would end up with over 70 pieces of content. And I want you to actually think about that for a second. Do you really believe that you would still be in that same position after doing that? There's no chance. You would be more confident, you would be clearer in your message, and you would understand what works and what doesn't on your channel. And most importantly, you would finally have momentum. But because people never get there, because they don't even make it past 10 or 20 posts or videos, they overthink everything. They sit on ideas, they try to make every video perfect, they worry about how they're going to perform before they even create, and in doing that, they slow themselves down so much that they never build any real progress. The gap is not talent, the gap is reps, and until you start stacking those reps, nothing changes. There was a moment for me where everything started to change, and it came down to one simple shift. I stopped focusing on outcomes and I started focusing on output, because the truth is, outcomes are slow. They take time. They depend on things you can't control. Views, subscribers, engagement, those are all results, but output is immediate. Output is something you can control every single day. You can control whether you show up. You can control whether you hit record. You can control whether you hit post. And when you shift your focus to that, you stop waiting for something to happen and you start building something real instead. What most people don't realize is that your first 10 videos are not supposed to be great. They're supposed to get you moving. The next 20 start to give you clarity. And somewhere after that, you start to build real momentum. But you never reach that point if you stop too early. That's why consistency matters more than anything else in the beginning. Not perfection, not production quality, not even strategy at first, just consistency. And if this video is hitting for you right now, if you've been sitting on content or overthinking getting started, do me a favor, hit that like button. It helps push this message out to more people who need it. And if you're serious about building something with content, make sure you're subscribed, because this channel is here to push you forward, not just entertain and educate. We're here to help you grow your channels, build your brand, and succeed on YouTube. Now let's talk about the excuses, because this is where most people get stuck. A lot of people say they don't have time, but if you really break that down, it's usually not a lack of time. It's a lack of priority. We make time for the things that matter to us, and when something doesn't feel urgent, it gets pushed to the side. Some people say they don't know what to post, but that's usually not true either. You already know things. You have experiences. You have opinions. You're just overthinking how to package it instead of just starting to share it. Then there's one about not liking how you look or sound on camera, and I get that because nobody likes it at first. It feels awkward. It feels uncomfortable, but that's part of the process. You don't get confident and then start. You start and then build confidence. And then of course there's the equipment excuse. People think they need better cameras, better lighting, and better setups. But the reality is none of that matters if you're not actually creating. I've said every one of these things myself at some point, but eventually you've got to decide whether you're going to keep making excuses or you're going to start building something meaningful. Here's what people are missing right now. It's still early on YouTube. It doesn't feel early because content is everywhere. You open your phone and it feels saturated. But when you look closer, most people are still consuming. They're not creating. And even the people who are creating, most of them are not consistent. They post here and there, they try it out, they stop, they come back, there's no rhythm, no structure, and no long-term commitment. That means that if you simply show up consistently with a clear message, you can separate yourself faster than you think. There's still a window here, and the people who take advantage of it are the ones who are going to build something real over the next few years. Let me simplify this for you, because it doesn't need to be complicated. Start by identifying what you can talk about. What have you done? What are you doing right now? Where can you help someone out? What can you help someone else with? Then choose a format that feels easy for you. It could be talking directly to the camera like I'm doing now, doing voiceovers, short videos, long form videos. It honestly doesn't matter as much as you think. And then commit to posting consistently. 3 times a week is a great starting point. Not because it's magic, but because it forces you to build habits. If you do that for the next 60 to 90 days, your situation will change. Your situation will drastically improve. You'll gain clarity and you'll start to see traction. At the end of the day, you don't need more time and you don't need better ideas. You definitely don't need better equipment. You need to show up, because the distance between where you are right now and where you want to be, as far as it feels, is just built on consistency. If you've got value out of this video, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, start posting. Thanks for watching, and go ahead and check out this video right here.